Hello and welcome to the shed. In today's video I want to show you how to properly set up a metal bodied spoke shave. Hope you enjoy. So what I want to show you here is the same whether it's vintage style metal one, a modern metal one, or even a round bottom like this one here. The setup is pretty much identical for all of them. So let's jump down here and have a look. So the one I've got here is a Falcon brand. These ones are Melbourne Tool Company new ones. So let's just quickly take them apart, because every single one of these spoke shaves in this metal type, for the most part, is set up the same. So what we can see here is we have our main body, we have the bed in here, we have the throat, and obviously we have the sole here that references. We have a retention screw here that helps put pressure onto the screw cap. We have two threaded rods. Now, not all of these spoke shaves actually have a double threaded rod here. Some of them actually don't have any adjustment on the thing and you've got to tap them. But this sort of design with the double thread and screws is the most common, so that's what we've got here. And then we obviously have a blade that fits in to there. You can see here, bottom one, we've got the same pieces. Round bottom, same pieces once again. So let me just quickly show you this style here first. I'll just show it a little bit closer for actually putting it together, because as we can see, these screws here are a little bit different to what we have on this one, which I don't think actually works as well. So let me get these out of the way and we'll have a quick look at this first. So when we look at these, we have to obviously put the blade in. Now on this one it's got a couple of little enclosed pieces, which is what the 151, which this is, it's based on the Stanley 151. That's how they have it, these enclosed bits here. We can see these screws here have the little bottom piece here, and that is where the blade inserts onto. And then we have this that stays clear behind it so we can actually adjust it. So when we go to put the blade in, we have to remember that this is actually a bevel down, just like our Stanley planes. It is bevel down. So we have to make sure it goes in bevel down. If you go and bevel up, this whole thing will not work and you can't operate it. Bevel down. Make sure it goes in bevel down. I've seen plenty of stuff online or ones that I've looked at buying and the blades are in them wrong because people just don't know what they are or don't know how to put the blade in. So bevel down. You can see on these ones here, you're looking for the lettering or the writing on the top, just like you do with a Stanley Bailey. Now we obviously have to adjust this here so it fits in evenly. Now at the moment, if we look at this, we can see the blade is actually skewed in here, and we'll correct that after we've got it in here. So what we want to do here is find enough tension on this that we can do a few turns. Now I like it to be a little bit looser here and have a few more turns here so it really gets the pressure in along your cutting edge. So I've seen some of them, see if I go down like this, I can probably still slot it on, but in this situation where if I get it to just like this, it stays down very flat. Problem is, it doesn't put enough pressure, in my opinion, when I've used these along the edge, at least on this one. So what I like to do, just turn that up a little bit, so when this slides, the screw cap slides in, it comes up on a steeper angle. And in my opinion, that just works better for holding it, and you can see that you can sort of rock it around, so you want to try and keep it as square as you can, so it's across the blade square. Before I show you a couple of different ways that I actually set the blade up in these, let me just show you one of the more modern ones, just so you can see how that slots in, because it's about the same, but a little more fiddly, because the blade is larger or thicker, and it gets a little stuck in these ones at least. This on the round bottom one, just so you can see. We can see this one here has this extra machined bedded piece just here, which in my opinion is not very good, but it's what this has. So this is designed for this one to clamp across that flat edge and jam the blade sort of up here on this fatter piece. So not sort of directly behind the bevel like the other one does. It comes in like right here. This one sort of puts the pressure up just below the hole here. And I don't think it actually holds as well. So bevel down once again. You want to stick it in on a wider angle and then bring it down so you don't damage your edge. And if you have a look at this, so if I've got them a little bit like this and they've moved a little bit, when I come to put this in, sometimes it'll slot in. If there's not enough space, sometimes it'll get jammed. The flat one, so you can see here, if you get it a little bit off and it's not quite lined up, you'll have to roll one of these screws back to get it to line up on this style. So you really want to bring or get these in the same alignment when you put the blade in, because you really want the blades in these to actually go in square, especially on your round bottom ones like this. And on these, there's not much gap between the sole and the actual blade, so you can't actually do really aggressive shavings with these ones. Whereas this one, you can see there's a much larger gap there. Even when it's adjusted, there's a wider mouth. And so then with this one, I do the opposite to what I do with this style, but it's because it's got that piece there. If you set it up higher, it just slides even more. But with this, to stop it moving, and that means I'm going to have to loosen it when I adjust this one, but these ones have to be, at least on these Melbourne Tool Company ones, you have to crank that down really hard, otherwise the blade slides. Even when you've got these sort of pushed against it, they will slowly loosen these screws, and that's why this one does move, because these screws don't hold very well on the thread, whereas these large ones, they've got more thread engagement, so they don't slide. So now I've got pieces out of the way and how we actually put them together. Let's have a look at the two different configurations. Now, the first configuration is obviously a straight blade. We can do that on this one. What I want to do is show you the straight blade configuration on one of the Melbourne Tool Company ones, because the second configuration is for a different purpose, and I find these ones, when I try to do that, because they don't hold well, it doesn't work. So let's do the straight one. Pretty straightforward. So I'm going to go to the flat bottom here, because I want to show you the second system on this one and how it doesn't work as well. So if you've got these ones cranked down really tight, you want to just crack it. On this one, when it's done up, I can actually still move this one with it done up, and I don't need to actually adjust it. It moves enough. But if it is a little too tight, you can just crack it back slightly on this style. So with these ones, you have to back it off so the cap is almost completely loose. Now, you want to view down from the top. And to start with, you're just going to adjust these screws until you see the gap or the reveal along your mouth here. Try and get that parallel. Then you want to sight this way across it, and you need to adjust them down. Try to do even amounts, and what you're looking for is a little bit of the blade to stick through along the sole. So let me just get that there and then I'll show you. It's another reason I don't like these. The caps come a little bit loose, because you've got to loosen them off to adjust them properly, in my opinion. So if you look across there now, you can see a little bit of the reveal of the blade. That's set, and then from there you just adjust that back and forwards however you need to in operation. Now with these screws on this one in particular, once you've done your cap back up, you actually, and if you've been advancing the blade, it's fine, but you don't want these to be sitting back loose, because that's just going to allow it to slide backwards. So you want to actually keep them engaged forward, just like you would do when you've reversed on a hand plane. You'll then move it back forward again to actually help hold the blade so it doesn't slide back on the mechanism. So you do want to sort of lock these against it. a little bit firmer than you normally would with something like this, but with these ones, it helps it stop sliding. It does still slide a little bit. And so this setup is, if you're just doing straight spindle work, bit of shaping, chamfering, all of that, you'll keep the blade straight and you're not really worried about the depth of cut. The other way, which you can do with one of these, is, and I will just get this sitting relatively square, so we've got pretty much an even reveal. The larger mouth on this makes this work a little bit better, and what you can do is advance one side slightly further than the other. So you have a more aggressive cut, and then you have a smoothing cut. I've seen a number of people set them up this way. I've seen some wooden ones set up in that way just by tapping the blade back a little bit. So there's quite a bit in books from various people over the time that have talked about this setup that I've seen, and it doesn't always work, but it works fairly well. So before I show you the canted blade, so you can see here, you can actually see it. So it looks slightly closer here than it is here. In most cases, you don't want your more aggressive side to be very aggressive, because if you want a smoother cut on the other side or a less aggressive cut on the other side, you don't want it on a massive tilt, just a little bit of a cant. So you can have a more aggressive cut on one side and a slightly less aggressive on the other side. So you can sort of do a roughing cut and a smoothing cut. So let me grab a piece of wood here and I'll actually show you what's going on here, and then I'll show you the canted blade doesn't work so well in this style. You can set these up, but I find you still need to work out. See, this is still quite an aggressive cut, although it's done it. So what I want to do is move it back, but obviously you can adjust these to however you want them to operate. So that feels like a pretty good cut. It's a fairly small shaving. You could go a little bit smaller, but it depends what you're doing. So with the flat setup like this, so you do your rough shaping, go, alright, that's the shape I want, but I want to refine it a little bit but not take as big a cuts. So we start taking a finer shaving here, which is fairly thin. And we can smooth it up. Alright, we want to go a little bit smoother again. So we've got to adjust it again. And you might have noticed that it was ridging there, and I'm going to be doing a review on this. These ones tend to catch and rock forward if you're not careful. So now it's nice and smooth. So the reason you might want to set it up the second way is, alright, so now I'm like, oh, I need to do some more heavier work. So I've got to take it back. I've gone too far with it. Oh, now I want to find it out again. I've got to go back. Blah, blah, blah. In comes this style, which is actually a little more balanced, and with the wider handles it's actually easier to stop it tipping, so that's why I like this one a little bit. So we had a slightly more aggressive on this side. Actually, maybe we're not... Nope, the blade is actually not sticking out past the bottom. That would explain why it's not working. So I want that to be a little more aggressive this side, and that's still fine, but you can actually do two adjustments. So I'm actually going to make this one a little bit finer. So you just saw me adjust that on the fly. So I've just done my aggressive work. Now I want to smooth that out. And so I'm just working on this half versus this half. I want to go back to more aggressive. Now I need to smooth it out through the middle here for the two between the joins. And then of course you can adjust that further if you needed to. You can go a little bit finer than what I was doing here. So I like to keep my aggressive on my left, on this side, my smoothing on this side, and that's how I always do it. So now you can see with that adjustment, that aggressive is still, actually it's more aggressive than what I had on this one, but I can still come in on this side. I need to take a little bit more heavy on this side. Let's do that, back to the smoothing. And that's how it goes with this now. Let's try to do the same with this one. So I'm gonna crack that, take this side back a touch. As soon as I start angling it, you can see I have a lot more issues trying to keep this particular blade. Because it's a thicker blade, it hits and it rolls forward like this. And I'm pushing down against it, and I have no resistance like I have in the handles here to stop this one with these thin handles doing that. So let's try and take that back a little bit. And I can sort of do it, but you can see it's causing a lot of problems. I can then go to the smoother side. And you can just see it doesn't work when it's canted like that. And you can see there's not much of a cant to the blade. These wider blades and with a flat bevel, because you can't curve them, they're just not suitable for the twist. Really, you need to have the thin bevel that you can sort of roll the bevel, and so when you adjust the cant on it, it sort of gently enters in and doesn't just catch like the flat blades on these wider ones or thicker blades, and it just digs in. So there you have it, folks. That's how you set up either modern or vintage style metal bodied spoke shaves. I don't currently own a wooden bodied spoke shave. That might be something I get into in the future if I can source one, because they're sort of set up a little bit differently, but you can also do the sort of canted design with those as well, which I think is where the whole idea came from. So if you liked this video, please do like and subscribe down below. While you're down there, do sound off in the comments. If you have a modern spoke shave with a thick blade, do you have the same issues that I have with this one here with it lifting up? Or is it just this particular brand? I don't know. Please let me know if you do have any, and even if you're not having the same issues, maybe you could leave some suggestions down below, and maybe I can try sourcing some other modern spoke shaves so we can do a comparison of some various different brands. Because I think that would make a great video to help you choose the correct spoke shave, so you don't have to go through the hassle of buying ones that don't work properly. And until next time, if you'd like to see another great video such as you want to see in here, do check out the videos on screen now. Bye for now.